Snapchat. I just felt like doing it. Okay. Um, just to go back for a moment, because I was just looking on Instagram and saw the rapper Big Daddy King reminiscing about Kung Fu Theater. I guess that's what they called it in New York. And Baltimore is Black Belt Theater. So as a little kid, I begged my parents to get me to do karate. My first stop in martial arts was actually judo when I was like 7 years old, and it wasn't even my choice. Like literally, my parents enrolled me at the YMCA and said you have to take swimming and you had to learn martial arts because they wanted me to be able to look after myself. And obviously, they didn't want me to be one of those black kids who couldn't swim, even though we lived in the Midwest and there was nowhere to swim anyway. But anyway, they asked me if I wanted to do judo or karate. I chose judo just because I was scared of karate from martial arts movies and thought I would get beat up. But then actually, I wanted to do karate, so I begged them for several years. I ended up first almost going to one place that my stepfather took me, where the guy was like, "Yeah," he said, "here, we fight kind of hard, we train hard." He said sometimes we might get a little bruised, maybe some broken bones here and there, but it's all part of the training. And I was scared, but at the same time titillated. Like, really? That's how hard they go? This must be good. I think my stepfather decided not to do that. So later, I did end up taking taekwondo when we moved back to Maryland from Illinois, and I was enrolled in Kim's Karate. Anyone from the 80s and 90s knows Kim's Karate and all the commercials they had about no one to pick on me anymore. So I ended up loving it. Then I would uh, go to the library and read martial arts books. I would buy martial arts magazines from the grocery store, like Black Belt Magazine and Inside Kung Fu, Taekwondo Times, stuff like that. And the biggest thing for me though was like Big Daddy Kane. Every Saturday afternoon after cartoons, there would be Black Belt Theater where we would show all these old martial arts movies, mostly the old Hong Kong movies, with all the old kung fu stuff from Bruce Lee to Jackie Chan to all the stuff. Sometimes it would be like some Japanese stuff, but mostly like the old Chinese and especially Hong Kong theater. And I remember I would like fix some ramen to be even more authentic. And I taught myself how to use chopsticks because I would watch how they use them in the movies. And I would emulate that, trying to do that with my ramen. Or sometimes if I order some Chinese takeout, I would practice it. And the chopsticks that used to come with the Chinese takeout actually came with instructions on how to use them. So I looked at that and I would practice them every time I ate Chinese takeout or ramen. And another thing I would fix with it to make it a complete meal, we used to have Mary's Steaks. It was this budget store for lower income folks to buy meat. It wasn't the highest grade meat, but it did its duty. And I would normally have like some Mary Steaks nuggets with the little chunks of unidentifiable meat in it that you would spit out, or the little chicken breast fillets, or maybe the little buffalo wings or whatever. I fix that with my ramen, just sit there and watch Black Belt Theater from like noon to like 2 o'clock. Then afterwards, I would go outside and practice in the backyard for like 2 to 3 hours. Just I had bought a army duffel bag from this army surplus store, filled it full of rags and old clothing, and hung it up on a tree. And I would just wail on it for like half an hour to an hour. Then I would take out my nunchucks and would work on those as well. And then, I might do a little bit of calisthenics and strength training. Before I had weights, I would just literally just lift things around the house to to strength train, like boxes. Put I would find boxes and put a bunch of books in them and lift them by like squatting them, doing lunges, bench pressing them, stuff like that. So for one Christmas, they eventually just bought me some weights. um, and it was great. Like Black Belt Theater was so great. A lot of those movies now, some people might go to like these stores to sell vintage martial arts movies and stuff like that. My friend owned one here in Maryland before he moved out to Vegas. Now they have a his store. He sold it to a friend, and they have a flea market that where they still sell like all the classic martial arts DVDs, even some of the more recent stuff like the Raid Redemption and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome, guys. I'm about to end this, but I just wanted to talk about that for a rant right now, uh, briefly. While the wife is over in Singapore. Well, right now she's asleep, but she's having a ball. Like I said, she's in a hotel with some friends, and the whole hotel's pretty much booked up with people going to the Taylor Swift concert there in Singapore. She's meeting up with some other friends later too. That I think did some island hopping before they got to Singapore, somewhere in Malaysia or Indonesia. I can't remember which. Um, she asked me if I wanted to go. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to be around all of that. Like, if I did, then I would have. After they went to the concert, I would have just went exploring around Singapore, like the shopping centers and the parks and the malls and stuff like that. But I was not going to be around 1,000 screaming women screaming Taylor Swift songs. So she was like, "Well, I'm your wife. I'm going to be screaming and stuff too." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not trying to be around thousands of other women who I'm not screwing." So that's the difference. So, anyways, guys, I'm about to shut this down. Just wanted to do this quick little rant because Big Daddy Kane, the legendary rapper, sent me down nostalgia avenue with talking about black belt theater or kung fu theater, depending on what they called it where you live as a kid. And this is pretty much for the old heads. So if you're under 30, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Them showing old martial arts movies on TV every Saturday afternoon. But like I said, it inspired me to become the martial artist that I am today. And, hopefully I can pass that on to my clients when I get, when I have some eventually. I've had a few and kids as well. So that's it, guys. I think I made myself hungry as well talking about talking about Mary steaks and ramen. So I'm gonna end this, and you guys be easy, okay? And if I don't know how to shut this down, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing the live via the mobile. All right, and I appreciate it. Thank you.